Yeah, 1950, are you getting any icing in the descent?
Descent, just actually broke out of the clouds horizontally here about 10 miles back.
Just 315, expect light rhyme in the descent.
We're getting it already, Jazz 315.
Roger.
One change to my frequency 118.1. If you're on 26.0, change to my frequency 118.1. November 8499 Alpha 4, good.
Encore 3628 traffic, currently 11 o'clock and 8 miles. Right now eastbound, but circling, indicating 3,500.
Roger, Encore 363.
Encore 3628, turn right heading 210.
Right 210, Encore 363.
Well, on approach, good morning, Horizon 2027. Flight level 180 on the hood 4.
Price 2027 for approach India is current. Light precipitation in 2 miles for about 6 miles. Light rhymes until about 13,000. Climb runway 10 right.
Fly on the right. I apologize. We have India.
Thank you.
Richard Delta 3101 with you, kilometers 2,600 for 7,000.
Delta 3101, total departure, radar contact, climb maintain 15,000.
Climb 15,000, Delta 3101.
November 8 Kilo Delta, Delta is now current at Aurora. They're changing to runway 17, but if you want to stay with 35, that's the first, let me know. 20 Kilo Delta, plan runway 35, have lower for you shortly.
Just off your left side, 3,600 indicated.
Roger, come on. Yes, Encore 363.
Encore 368, thanks. Contact approach 126.9.
126.9, Encore 363.
Delta 3101, correct, Whammy.
Kirk Whammy, Delta 3101.
Hey, for Horizon 2025. Horizon 2325, climb maintain 11,000. November 8 Kilo Delta for traffic, turn right heading at 340, descend and maintain 3,100. November 8 Kilo Delta traffic, 11 o'clock, 5 miles, maneuvering South Aurora, altitude indicates 3,500. November 8 Kilo Delta, I already coordinated for 35. If you want 17, just let me know, and I can give you the left downwind for 17. The wind is reporting 190 at 7 now on that ATIS Delta. It's 190 at 7. All right, Kilo Delta, roger. This will be vector for runway 17, no problem. And I'm just going to keep you east of that traffic. Delta 3101, contact Seattle Center 128.15.
2815, we'll see you, Delta 3101.
United 1950, contact approach 126.9.
126.9er, United 1950.
November 8 Kilo Delta, traffic no factor, Aurora Airport, 11 o'clock, 10 miles. Horizon 2325, climb and maintain 15,000. 15,000. descend and maintain 5,000. Range 01, contact approach 290.3. Horizon 2325, contact Seattle Center 128.15. November 8 Philadelphia, descend and maintain 2,000.
5 Yankee Delta 17-7 now descending via the hood 4.
Station 5 Yankee Delta, Portland approach, runway 10 left, India's current, the altimeter is 3052.
We do have India, we'll plan 10 left, 5 Yankee Delta.
Station 5 Yankee Delta, expect light rhyme and a descent through 2000 now.
5 Yankee Delta, roger.
Connected to PilotEdge.
Test 315, contact approach 126.9.
26.9, just through at 5 today.
Approach Delta 179 with you, descending through 14.5 via the crater to arrival with Information Hotel.
Wondering why I was so low. I had to turn the volume up again. Curious to see. Oh, that's incoming. I want departures. I gotta wait till 12:45 for Southwest. I want to see, they should start taxiing here soon. Let's turn on the batteries. External powers available, nav light, seat belt, smoking. R2 lights armed, light test, and we'll start our aligning process for the adheres. IRSs align. I wait for on-bat, and then I do IRS 2. Wait for on-bat to come back, and then we'll do the third and final IRS align. I need 64 tons of fuel. Bring this up to 64. Start the fueling. Passengers, 115. Seven, 5, 6, 4. So that should give me a zero fuel weight of 58,468, which it does. 58,468 and 28.1. $58.5, 28.1, and takeoff weight is going to be 65,048. Okay, so we are boarded. Our boarding. Turn on the lights in the cabin. Open the door. Coming alive. Let's get the APU going. Got 2 more minutes. check the bleeds. Crossfeed will go to the back. Environment's kicking on. We're getting things warmed up in the cabin. Hydraulics are fine. APU generator is available, so we're going to disconnect. External, we'll remove the GPU. Alright, so this guy's already started his engines, so he should be backing out here and shortly. Departures are always right on time, or at least the taxi. It's the arrivals that are a little different. Here we go, right on time. Next departure is at 12:50. That's a 73. That's a 739er, 737-900 series. This is a regular. That guy's parked there. Did I fix it? I think I fixed it. The reason I'm testing this is I was messing with the, if this guy takes off a 1-0 left, I'm going to be very happy. I messed around for about 30 minutes with the app.dat file to help Traffic Global use the proper runways for WinCom ops at this airport. And so far, it looks like he's going to be using the correct runway for taking off, which is what I wanted. The developer had too much information, like IFR conditions, VFR conditions, WinCom conditions. I just took all the ambiguity, whatever that word is, removed it from the equation. So now it definitely looks like he's going to be using the correct runway. Awesome. Awesome. Hey Gizmo, what's up, buddy? I fixed it. I fixed the flow for this airport at least. I fixed it. Edge ops. Wind calm. What's EGE ops? Do I have something in my channel description or the stream description? Is it weird or something? PilotEdge. Everything looks to be right. Cool. Got multiple departures going on. What is Edge Ops? Where do you see that, bud? Let's hop over here. So we've got altimeter 3053. And we're taking off on 10 left. Last ATIS was Charlie. And Spokane is landing west. So we're going to file the flight plan on PilotEdge, IFR, Lava 6, Zoomer 1, 290. File that. What's Edge Ops, Gizmo? What is EDGE Ops? What's that mean? It's like one's in a hurry. Alright, so I need AV tab, Portland, we are at E3. So let's set up our stuff here. So we're going to do Eric is correct. So init PDX where am I going? GEG. $45, $35, 4. 22, 35, 4. 22, 35, 4. Align, init. And ATIS 128, 35.
Short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information, Charlie.
Still Charlie, which means nothing's
Portland
changed.
International Airport. 8 TIS information, Charlie. 1853 Zulu. Wind 140 at 6. Visibility 10. Ceiling 4,200 broken. 9,000 broken. 25,000 overcast. Temperature 3. Dew point 0. Altimeter 3053. Arriving and parting runways 10 left, 10 right. Visual approaches in use. Simultaneous approaches parallel runways in use. VFR departures, contact, clearance, delivery, advise.
Alright, Portland's elevation's 30 feet, so that matches. We're good there. I'm so happy these guys are taking off on the correct runways now. This is my favorite airport, and it was bothering me that they were strictly taking off on the 2.8s, but they were going by the IFR plan because there's always clouds here, so that made sense, but still, yeah, the wind's kind of wonky. I had to fix all the winds. If you put 013 in WED, only the 13 shows up, so that it could also be like 130 if you think the zero's dropped off. It's very confusing. Alright, clearance 120.12. Let's do 120. And ground is 9er, so I'll get that ready. Afternoon, Portland, clearance, United 1399 at the gate, current with Charlie, IFR Spokane.
United 1399, Portland clearance, cleared to Spokane Airport, Lava 6 departure, Lava, direct PAPS, that's Papa Alpha, Papa Papa Sierra. Zoomer, join the Zoomer 1 arrival. Climb and maintain 6,000. Departure frequency 124.35, squawk 2503.
Cleared to Spokane via Lava 6 departure, Lava, direct PAPS, direct Zoomer, Zoomer 1 arrival. Climb maintain 6,000. Departure 124.35, squawk 2503, United 1399.
United 1399, read back correct, thanks.
Alright, so that's why you don't say request IFR to Spokane as filed, because I didn't get as filed. So it's a request, it's not an order. So whenever I hear that on VATS, I'm like, yeah, don't say as filed. You might not get as filed. It's a request, not an order. And we didn't get what we requested. Alright, so I'm going to change up this flight plan. On my laptop here.
Affirmative, no problem. Oscar 26, 78, contact Reno Tower 118.7.
Alright, I got it. Alright, so I did file 290.
Oscar 26, 78, RNAV 16 right.
So we're going to take off 10 left.
Oscar 26,
Lava
78, Reno
6.
Tower, wind calm, runway 16 right, cleared to land.
No transition.
Cleared to land, Oscar 26, 78, thanks.
And then we're going to go to PAPS, which is PAPPS. And then RNAV Zulu 21, Zoomer 1 from Zoomer. Clear to disco. We're good there. Flight plan is entered. I'll grab the winds. In at page 2 for weight. 58.5. 28.1. We are topped off on fuel of 6.4. Plug that in there. To 530 for AGL, 500 AGL for climb thrust, 200 knots on initial departure. And the MDA for this RNAV approach is 2596. That's basically the minimums, which is 300. That's the same thing as 300 radar. And then 2890. That lowers it to 500. That's 1,000 for one engine out. So we are good. Let's just check it against the departure. So Lava 6, we're going to take off on 10 left. So we're going to go to River, and then Kosog, Ochre, Lava, and then Paps. So all that's correct. Flight plan is entered. Now we need to figure out our takeoff weight. So can't use this because that's calculating the wrong fuel. It's calculating 3594 and we have 6.3. So you take the 6.3, 6,300 plus 58,468 is the zero fuel weight. Comes out to 64,768. That's 142,789 pounds. So then we'll come over here and we'll do Portland. Grab the weather. Temperature is 3, altimeter is 3050. That's correct. Wind 150 at 6. Takeoff weights 142, 789. Runway 10 left.
Alaska 2678, so right turn Lima, all the way over to Alpha, northbound into the ramp on this frequency.
103.
Right turn on Lima, Alpha, to the ramp, this frequency. We'll see you soon, Alaska 2678.
Sounds good.
148, cross the board, 68. $148.68.
And Seattle ground, good afternoon, Alaska 476. Coming up on spot 55 with information, November, ready for taxi.
Alaska 476, Seattle ground, runway 16 left taxi via Bravo.
Runway 16 left via Bravo, Alaska 476.
Turn on the fuel pumps. Even though the engines do work with them off because it's gravity fed, but you need them on for maintaining the right balance. Autopilot, we are clear to 6,000, so we'll dial that in. Hydraulic pressure is low. It's a little bit under the green, so we're going to turn on the yellow pump to 3,000 psi. And we'll turn it back off. And that brings everything into the green. So to brief the flight plan real quick. This is kind of wrong now, but so 10 left. Takeoff going that way.
Compass 60, 88, roger, thanks.
For the Lava 6 departure, so 540 feet, we'll go autopilot on, go straight to river. And then we'll come up to Lava. And then we're going to go right to Zoomer, which is over here somewhere. There it is. It's right in there. And then we're going to do the Zoomer 3 from Zoomer to Gangs, but we're not even going to do that because I'm going to request the RNAV Zulu from Zoomer right here. We're going to do an RMP approach right into runway 21 because currently the winds are 190 at 9, so that would be pretty much right down the runway. So then we'll land on 21, exit at Charlie maybe, or maybe Alpha 5, and then we'll come back up to the terminal where we have SAM gating. And we have icing in this whole area, so we'll keep an eye on that. Otherwise, that in short is the flight plan. Button her up. Thought I heard someone. He just landed. It's a pretty airplane. See where he's coming from. Spirit. He comes from Karen, Las Vegas.
Seattle Tower, good afternoon, Alaska 476, hold short runway 16 left, ready for departure.
Alaska 476, Seattle Tower, wind 130 at 11, runway 16 left, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, 16 left, Alaska 476.
Okay.
Yes, Captain. We are waiting for your instruction. Ground to flight deck. All holds and hatches are closed. Walk round complete.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
What's up, Das? How you doing, bud? Getting some Airbus action going on here. Alright, current fuel state is we're going to air on the low side, 6.2. So we're going to update our fuel. So 6.2. I'll update our times. We'll leave it there because it will automatically roll to the fuel prediction page upon starting the engine.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Moving out of the SAM. Do a fire test.
476, contact departure.
Departure 476, good day.
Alaska 476, Seattle
We're
departure.
going to have to
Radar
push
contact,
onto
climb
an
and maintain
active
15,000.
taxiway, so I need to be squawking Charlie to do that. So it'll be 2503.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
And we need to get permission to push. So going to go to ground control. And tower for 10 left is 18.7, so I'll get that ready.
Approaches to parallel runways in use. VFR departures contact clearance delivery, advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and
If
hold
it was
short instructions.
Charlie, we're good.
Advise on initial contact you have information Delta.
No, it's changed, of course. Alright, what are we
Portland
doing?
International Airport. 8 to information Delta. 1953 Zulu. Wind 170 at 6. Visibility 10. 4,100 scattered. Ceiling 5,000 overcast. Temperature 4. Dew point 0. Altimeter 3051. Arriving and departing runways 10 left, 10 right. Visual approaches in use. Simultaneous approaches to parallel runways in use. VFR departures contact clearance delivery.
Alright. Which gate am I not? Echo 2. Portland ground, United 1399 at gate Echo 2, current with Delta, ready to push on to Kilo.
United 1399, Portland ground, push to Kilo is approved.
Push to Kilo approved. Yeah, United 1399.
Alaska 476, contact Seattle Center 126.6.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Look out, truck. Alright, so
Alaska 476, Seattle Center, climb and maintain flight level 230.
go to ignition, monitor hydraulics, and we'll roll on 2. I thought I heard a plane land. Alright, gen's coming available. There it is. Start engine 1.
Compass 6088, contact Oakland Center 132.905. Compass 6088, Oakland Center, roger.
So we'll do crew supply, check the wipers. Avionics 2727, so we're good there. Check the O2, good on the mask. Generators available on engine 1, so we go to normal ignition, flaps 1, arm the spoilers.
Set parking brake.
And we'll set the parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
CG 27.4, so up 0.2. Check the winds real quick. 150 at 6, it's still 3.
Disconnected. Bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll
All
see you
my
next time and have
perf data for
Alpha 476, contact Seattle Center now 125.1.
Alright, he's gone, so we'll do flight controls, right, left, speed brake. Rudder works.
Alaska 476, Seattle Center, climb and maintain flight level 350.
Portland ground, United 1399 on kilo, ready to taxi.
United 1399, Portland ground, runway 10 left at Echo, taxi via Kilo, Echo.
10 left at Echo via Kilo, Echo, United 1399. I'll do a cabin check, I'll turn that off. Let's go. And tower is 18.7. One zero left 18.7. Yep. Guys pushing back. You always know Echo is right before this runway 21. Alright, so we have auto brakes, max, takeoff config test. normal. Systems, normal. Landing lights, strobes coming on. Tower departure is 124.35, so I'll get that ready. Auto brake, signs, spoilers, flaps, takeoff config, packs. Good. Portland Tower, United 1399, hold short, 10 left at Echo.
United 1399, Portland Tower, runway 10 left at Echo, cleared for takeoff, wind 170 at 6.
10 left at Echo, clear for takeoff, United 1399. You gotta say the intersection unless you're full length. If you're full length, you don't have to say the intersection, but even if he assigns you an intersection, you know, he'll clear to land, or I'm sorry, he'll clear to take off from the intersection, and you gotta read back. If you don't say from Echo,
approaching 10
left at Echo,
left.
then he'll correct you and say it's 10 left at Echo. And the only reason I know that is because I've been corrected in the past, which is the only reason I know that. But that's why I like this. They do things by the letter of the law, just so you learn how to do things 100% correctly.
On runway 10
things
left.
Might be a little bit more laxed in the real life, but it's fun knowing that you can learn things like that. Engines 50% are good. Takeoff power is set. Airspeed's alive. B1, rotate. Positive right, gear coming up. We're going to hold it at about 18 degrees on the climb until we get to 500 AGL, and then we'll do autopilot on and we'll change to climb thrust. There's the climb indicator.
United 1399, contact departure.
Over to departure, United 1399 CO. So verify we are on course and turning, autopilot's on, pack's coming back on, unarm the spoilers, and we'll go to departure. Portland departure, United 1399, Lava 6, 2000 for 6000.
United 1399, Portland departure, radar contact, climb and maintain 15,000.
Climb, maintain 15,000, United 1399. $215, the flaps will retract automatically. I don't have to do anything. It comes out of the 1+F config, which is a takeoff config, and at 220 or anything above the S, we can take out the rest of the slats. So now the slats, which are the leading edge, that front part is going into the wing. So you got slats on the front, flaps on the back. And it's all for extra lift. And most of y'all know that stuff already. Turn off the ND. Turn on the weather radar. You missed a part of that. Mind explaining again? Speaking about the runway bit. About oh, okay. So he gave me – 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 1 I'll show you. So I first asked for permission to push on the Kilo because Kilo is an active taxiway. So if you push onto a taxiway, you need permission. If I were to push in here, then it's a non-moving area and I need to talk to ATC to do that. Only onto an active taxiway. So then...
Unit 1399, contact Seattle Center 121.4.
Seattle Center 121.4, United 1399.
Alaska 476, contact Seattle Center 135.15.
Good.
Seattle Center, United 1399, 10,200 for 15,000.
United 1399, Seattle Center, climb and maintain flight level 230.
Climb maintain flight level 230, United 1399. Okay, so as soon as I was on Kilo and I'd already had permission to push, then I asked for permission to taxi. So he gave me an intersection of Echo, right? So he said, go ahead and taxi to 10 left at Echo via Kilo Echo. So he gave me permission to taxi to right here, which is the intersection of 10 left and Echo via Kilo Echo, and then I hold short. So then when I said I was holding short, I had to say where I was holding short with tower, right? So I switch to tower and I say Portland Tower, United 1399, holding short, 10 left at Echo. So then tower comes back and he says, United 1399, winds, whatever, 10 left at Echo, cleared for takeoff. So then I say, 10 left at Echo, cleared for takeoff. So if he would have assigned me 10 left at Tango via Kilo Tango, same thing applies. So you always have to read back the intersection unless if he were to say 10 left, taxi 10 left, then I wouldn't have to say anything. I would just I would cross over to 1 and then go to the very end. But this is only for landing or, extra. If you're really heavy, you could use this extra. But most of the time they'll have you take off from here because this is, obstacle runway. It's not even it's not really usable runway. But if he would have said 10 left full length, then I just would have gone to here and you don't have to say anything other than that. So hopefully that made sense of what I was trying to say there. Alright, so we can turn off the landing lights. Go to automatic on seatbelts. Check our cabin pressure.
Traffic 2680, Reno clearance, cleared to San Jose Airport, Zephyr 6 departure, Darby transition, and as filed, climb via the SID, squawk 7314.
Yeah, because you're not at full end. If they don't give an intersection, you'd have to go up to Kilo 1, correct. So if they don't say an intersection, then it's just assumed that you're going to use full length, so you just taxi to the full length.
United 1399, contact Seattle Center 135.15.
Seattle Center 135.15, United 1399. 3515. And I'm going to wait till we get to transition altitude, which is basically now, so we'll go to standard at 18,000, 13515. I don't need any of that. Then we'll wait till we get to flight levels, and then we'll check in with Seattle Center. Seattle Center, United 1399, flight level 180 for 230.
United 1399, Seattle Center, climb and maintain flight level 290.
Climb maintain flight level 290, United 1399. So you have two methods with the MCP. So you have managed and manual, right? So I'm going up to 290. So let's say, for argument's sake, there was a waypoint here that had a top altitude restriction of 23,000 feet, and say it was 20 miles away at this thing here. So if I had this in managed mode with the dot, it means it will not climb higher than 23,000 if there was a waypoint that set a restriction of 23,000. So if there was a restriction, and if he gave me an order to climb to 290 like he just did, then all you do is take it out of managed mode, remove the dot, and you'll go straight to 290, ignoring any restrictions that might be in front of you. Same thing applies with speed via managed or manual. I prefer manual on my climb outs. That's just me. And that says, back to the other conversation, I thought you were saying it was something of a different procedure. I understand the normal stuff there for that. Yeah, well, I mean, you had asked, so I just figured I'd try to explain it for others, because a lot of people watch my YouTube channel, for example, and they don't see the question, so I try to, read it and then explain it, so that way people that are watching YouTube know what I'm talking about. And plus, not everybody, I mean, you're pretty advanced, when it comes to PilotEdge and ATC stuff, but a lot of people that are looking at sims are not really advanced yet when it comes to the rules. So sometimes I go a little bit overboard with explaining things, but I'm just trying to help others that might not be in channel right now. All right. Well, advanced for, like, a lot more than, people that are just like VATSIM. A lot of guys that are only been on, say, VATSIM for 6 months. If you've flown on PilotEdge for any extended period of time, you're going to be corrected so much, it kind of makes you advanced. By the time you can do these flights without having ATC correct you all the time, then that's when it tells me you're advanced. If you're on here and you're constantly being corrected, then that's not a bad thing. You want that. I want to be corrected if I do something wrong, because for me, I learned 2 different ways. YouTube, I hate reading. I cannot read instruction plans. I can't do it. I mean, I can, but it takes a lot more effort. And then the other way I learn is I'm such a perfectionist, and when it comes to, like, I have OCD. So when someone tells me I do something wrong, it is extremely rare that I will make that same mistake a second time. And I made a ton of mistakes in the beginning, but every time I made a mistake, I wrote down like a half a book on what I did wrong and what do I need to do to correct it. So most of my knowledge is from PilotEdge telling me I screwed up, and then taking that knowledge back to VATSIM, which has just made me a better pilot on VATSIM as well.
That's Echo Hotel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know all the intricacies and all the, like, if I were to have something go wrong with this flight, like if I had an engine fire, I have no idea what the emergency procedures are. Now that's something I want to learn. I want to learn to get into failures and stuff like that. I think that would be fun to learn how to deal with erroneous type errors and thick stuff coming up. And that says I know basics and do mostly VFR, but I see advanced as able to do all the IFR stuff without stressing out. Well, yeah, I mean the IFR, I learned IFR first. I think we had discussion last night, maybe it was last night, where I learned IFR stuff first, just because most of the people that start on VATSIM kind of do things backwards. In the sim world, you learn IFR and then VFR. In the real world, you learn VFR first, and then you get your certifications on IFR, multi-engine, CFI, all those other certifications. But on sims, it's just easier for ATC and pilots to pretty much learn IFR. And that's the norm on VATSIM, and that's where I started on VATSIM. I flew for a year on VATSIM before I even tried PilotEdge. And then PilotEdge, I learned how many bad habits I got into by flying on VATSIM, because I was corrected on things I thought I was doing correct, but I wasn't. But that's why, that's why I love it. Like, friends of mine would be like, don't you get tired of the...
Seattle Center 132.6.
Seattle Center 132.6, United 1399. And I have friends who are like, don't you get tired of flying the same, don't you get tired of the same sim? 132.6. Seattle Center, United 1399, flight level 276 for 290.
United 1399, Seattle Center, roger.
And like just that one there, I used to say flight level 270-700 for 290. And then I was corrected, when you're in the flight levels, you don't say hundreds. It's always just the 3 numbers. So this would be flight level 279er for 290. So you don't say hundreds. Only under transition altitude do you add in the thousands. And it's just little stuff like that that I learned on PilotEdge that VATSIM doesn't correct you on, because they would be correcting everybody all the time. But on PilotEdge, they're paid to correct you for even the little minor, tiny stuff. And I watched a streamer the other day that was flying on VATSIM. He had no ATC coverage at all. He was just flying to fly. And I was like, don't you fly on PilotEdge? And he was just like, no, because I don't like how they correct you on little stuff like saying with you or whatever. They'd be like, that's a waste of airspace and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, well, they're just trying to teach you the correct phraseology. They use the
1399 cross Zoomer at and maintain 1000, Spokane altimeter 3028.
Cross Zoomer at maintain 1000, 3028, United 1399. So basically, he just gave me a permission to descend at pilot discretion without saying that. So I need to cross Zoomer at 11,000 feet. So what we're going to do, we're going to come down here to Zoomer. I'm going to dial in 11,000. Put that there, and that will give me a descent profile, the new top of descent. Yep, on your Bravo busting flight. That's right. Yeah, last night my Bravo busting flight. Yeah, he had cleared me to 14.5, so he cleared me to climb, because if he was doing his job, he would have known I was under a Bravo shelf. So telling me to climb, it's kind of like he didn't say the magic words cleared in the Bravo, but it was implied, and VATSIM is not done to the same level as PilotEdge. So I knew I was just like picking on them, but they do a good job for, you know, the type of experience that they have flying on that network. It's not the same. The two networks don't have the same technicalities, you know, they don't have the same type of pilots. PilotEdge is for those that want to do things by the letter of the law. VATSIM is more of a social network than a learning network. So PilotEdge is a learning network. VATSIM is, you know, they have fly-ins and get-togethers. PilotEdge doesn't really do that. But if you could fly in the ZLA on PilotEdge on a weekend and it feels like a fly-in event. Yeah, you start your descent whenever, so long as you are at 11,000 by Zoomer. Yep. You are absolutely correct. It's the same thing of him saying descend via the Hawk 7 arrival or whatever you're doing. So if they tell you to descend via an arrival, that does not mean you need to leave whatever your current altitude is. But under IFR rules, whenever I get to this top of descent, which is this little thing here, I can start descending and I'll reset the MCP for 11,000. But because I am going to be leaving an assigned altitude by ATC, I have to let ATC know I am leaving that altitude. That's a big difference between IFR and VFR flying. VFR, I can descend to 11,000 feet and not have to say a word. Even with flight following, you don't have to say squat. But if you're flying IFR, which is what we're doing today, as soon as I get here and I start descending, I need to let him know I'm leaving flight level 290, and that's just for separation. So that's one big difference between IFR and VFR, is that you gotta let him know. Whenever you change assigned altitudes, either he's telling you to go to a different altitude at that very moment, or I'm telling him I'm leaving an altitude, only after permission, of course. Everything is permission on IFR, but airspace is never an issue because you don't have to worry about permission to enter airspace under IFR. And let's lower the temperature a little bit.
That's a 2680, contact NorCal departure.
Alright, so let's copy what we got. Second flight plan, second perf, you'll know because it says second at the top here. And I'm not going to worry about any of this except for the weather. So we're going to do 3027.
That's 2680, NorCal departure, radar contact.
I think that's what he said. No, 28. 3028. Temperature is -2. 200 at 12. It's the winds. And that's for the second flight plan. So the primary, perf, next. Too far. 30. 28. Boom. Temperature -2. 200. Actually, I'll leave that blank. I'm going to update the winds. Click anywhere to the right of any waypoint, not limb, but a waypoint. Wind data, wind request, update. Now go to your perf and do your winds, because otherwise it will erase it. 220. 200, 12, and of course we'll double check that on our way down. 20 miles. We'll start our descent, and we're going to go to 16. Check our ECAM, make sure everything's still in the green. I don't have failures, but sometimes things do happen. Temperature is lowered because I lowered it in the forward compartment. Auto land is 2336, so you check that with the chart. Elevation at Spokane's 2385, so as long as it's within 75, you're fine. Spokane has a, why not think I know, I'm trying to get their ATIS 12432, we'll get that ready. Let the crew know we're going to be descending. Seattle Center, United 1399, leaving 290.
United 1399, thank you.
Alright, so I told them I was leaving my last assigned altitude, now descending into the 16,000 by Zoomer.
And confirm 2685, Alaska 476.
And we're getting some condensation, water, so I know there's a bunch of icing going on.
Confirm 126.85.
So engine ice is definitely more important when you're
Alaska 476 needing something?
When the engine's on idle.
Did we get any frequency change by any chance?
It's more important
Negative
to have anti-ice on.
Oakland Center, good afternoon. Alaska 2680 on 17,500 by SID.
Alaska 2680, Oakland Center, roger, thanks. Climb and maintain flight level 280.
280, Alaska 2680.
Let's see. Spokane. I'm going to do an RNAV. Zulu 21 from Zoomer, which is out here. The MDA is 2596. Final approach fix is WAFix, whatever. So I'm going to want to be at Jimbo at 180 or so. And ILS 21 for backup has an ILS of 111.1. So we can double check that. Matches in case we need an ILS for backup. Otherwise, that's all good. Except the Jumbo, I want this at 180 knots instead of 210. Have the calculations done on that. Then it'll be a decel right after. So we are set. Do you go ahead and descend if you cannot get in to tell them if it's like super busy? Yeah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and start my descent. If I'm at my top of descent, since he's already given me permission to descend at, essentially a pilot discretion, right? So I'll start my descent even if he's talking to like 3 other people. And then as soon as I, the earliest at most convenience time, then I'll let him know that I'm descending. So you don't have to wait. I just happened to call him at the same time because that's the best practice, but you don't have to wait. When I'm about 10 miles from Zoomer, I'm going to request the RNAV from Zoomer. Or maybe I can do... from Wagney. 052. What's after Zoomer? 043. So I'm going to ask for that. Alright, so 30, 28.
Alaska 2680, contact Oakland Center 125.75.
2575, Alaska 2680.
That's a good question. Yeah, you can go ahead and start your descent.
Oakland Center, good afternoon, Alaska 2680.
I think Spokane has a VOR over the airport. Let me check.
Alaska 2680, Oakland Center, roger.
If I can get it to come up, Spokane.
1399, contact Spokane approach 123.75.
Spokane approach 123.75, United 1399.
VFR departures, contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read backhaul runway assignment and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information, Charlie.
Spokane approach, United 1399. Zoomer 16000. Current with Charlie. Request the RNAV Zulu 21 from Zoomer. Let's do
1399, Spokane approach. Thanks for Charlie. Altimeter 3028 at Zoomer. Cleared the RNAV Zulu, runway 21 approach.
3028 at Zoomer. Clear the RNAV Zulu 21 approach, United 1399. Let's update our winds.
And if flight following is requested. Read backhaul runway assignment and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information, Charlie. Spokane International Airport. ATIS information, Charlie. 1953 Zulu. Wind 190 at
2680, descend via the Razor for arrival San Jose, altimeter 3030.
Broken, 10,000 overcast. Temperature -2. Dew point -13. Altimeter 3028. Arriving and departing runways 21.
I didn't get the wind. I need the wind.
Runway 26 approach and use. VFR departures, contact clearance delivery.
Alaska 476, contact Oakland Center 132.95.
Read backhaul runway assignment.
Next landing weight 65.
Advise on initial
62.
contact you have information, Charlie. Spokane International Airport. Information, Charlie. 1953 Zulu. Wind 190 at 12. Visibility 10. Ceiling 3,800 broken. 10,000 overcast. Temperature -2. Dew point -13. Altimeter 3028. Arriving and departing runways 21, 26.
turn off this weather. Get these landing lights started. Seatbelts on. Tower is 18.3, so I'm going to get that ready real quick. 18.3 for Spokane. And alias Mr. Jones. Good afternoon, bud. How are you? To be clear, though, he can descend because he already had clearance to descend. Yeah, that's what I was saying. He had told me to cross Zoomer at and maintain 16,000, and that was when I was already at my cruise, I think. That's when he told me. So you're absolutely correct, because he had already gave me my descent clearance. If you hadn't gotten the descent clearance and things are busy, you cannot start descent until given the clearance from ATC. Absolutely correct. Thanks for adding that in, because I don't want to confuse anyone. So I descended only because he told me to cross a certain waypoint at a certain altitude. So that was my descent clearance. But yeah, you're absolutely correct on that. Yeah, I knew he had clearance. I was asking in that context. Yeah. Yeah, there's a big difference between just descending without clearance and descending with clearance. So I had a clearance, but I didn't descend at the same time he gave me the clearance. If I had, I wouldn't have had to say anything later, but since I waited until I wanted to descend, then I had to let him know at the most earliest convenience. Do that. Do Spokane VOR, we're 10 miles away. So I'm going to go ahead and slow down. Alright, what is this thing doing? Trying to stay on profile at the same time as slowing down with speed brakes. Once I get to 200 knots, I can slow down really fast. Add in the first notch of flaps, and that creates a lot of drag. I'm going to turn off the... No, I'll leave the terrain warning on. We're in IMC, so... And then final approach fix for this is Wavix, which is on final, and that's 3,400, which is what I have the MCP set for. Missed approach is climb to 5,000, runway heading. Missed approach requires minimum blah blah blah. So just 5,000 will reset. 200 knots, flaps 2. That will slow down. We'll add in the first notch of flaps. Flaps 1 is actually only slats. was yelling at me about the
Number 5750 Papa, unfortunately what you filed, it just isn't doable. The only way out of Monterey is on the Monterey 5 departure procedure. Is there a reason you can't fly the procedure? Okay, then we can't go IFR. That's the only way we can get you out of Monterey. VFR. November 5750 Papa, NorCal departure frequency 121.3, squawk
low.
3343.
Spoilers are armed.
Number 50 Papa, your read back is correct. Call ground when you're ready to taxi.
Can't reset the mist until you get to the final approach fix if you're on RNAV. If you're on ILS, it's a little bit different, but RMP, any RNAV, you gotta wait till the final approach fix, otherwise it will mess up your profile.
Yeah, 1399, contact Spokane Tower 118.3.
Over to Spokane Tower, 118.3 on a 1399.
Alaska 2680, contact NorCal approach 120.905. We'll see you.
Spokane Tower, United 1399, RNAV 21.
Spokane Tower, runway 21, good to land.
Runway 21, clear to land, United 1399.
Alaska 476, go ahead.
Alright.
476, roger, reporting back.
2,500.
So the ground again is 23, so 23, 33, about 4,000 feet. Alright, so we're going to go to approach mode. VDEV is active.
2,500.
Once VDEV is active, you can use approach mode to bring you down to final approach fix altitude, which is 3,400. Once we get to 3,400 feet, then we can reset the MCP for 5,000. 4,000 feet, we'll go to manage mode. Ground is 121.9er. Go to managed. The mist is 5,000. So have to wait till we get to the waypoint first. 60 full flaps. Do cabin check. And we'll set this for 5,000 for mist. Lights are on. Gear sign, spoilers, flaps, we're good.
Approaching 2-1.
If I go mist, be full throttle, flaps 3, gear up. Autopilot off, my plan. And fly it for the rest.
Terrain 500.
Yeah, stop yelling at me about the terrain. I see the terrain.
400.
Tiny bit of a left crosswind, so I'm gonna aim for the
300.
left,
Above.
this left marker here.
200 minimum. 100. 50, 40, 30,
Monterey Ground,
20,
Skyhawk 575, Sierra Papa, the Global Executive. This is Zulu.
A little bit of a hard landing, but be alright.
Requesting flight followers, ready to taxi.
Alright, reversers are on. We're slowing.
Is where you're at, I'm actually looking for taxi. As the recommend to the ready with delivery. Runway 28 left, taxi Alpha.
Could you say again, please, for Skyhawk 575, Sierra Papa?
When you call for taxi, you just need to say your position, that you're looking for taxi, and the ages that you have. You don't have to make the full VFI request every time.
Thank you.
You're at 1399 taxi to gate via Alpha, monitor ground. Have a good day.
Gate via Alpha, monitor ground, United 1309. Thanks, we'll see you.
Monterey Ground, Skyhawk 575, Sierra Papa's ready to taxi.
Oh, the ATC controller, this person you're hearing right now, it's not a woman, it's a man.
What was that runway?
A lot of people think it's a girl, but the only girl controller that PilotEdge has is that one that usually does the ZLA. Miss Gwendolyn, I think her name is. I'm not 100% sure, but this controller you're listening to is a guy. And excuse me. The a lot of people say that they think it's a female, but no, this controller is a guy. He just has a higher pitched voice. I guess this will work. Let's see. Alright, APU is verified on, so we'll shut down the engines. Come over here. B5. Turn off all these lights. Put that on. Open that up. Fuel pumps can come off. Let's see. Got the first officer out here saying goodbye to everybody. And then Alright, let me see. Let me catch up here. Either she slurs everything together, has her gain too high, and is peaking the mic, or in general muffled, like thrown to a scarf. I failed the cat rating due to having her repeat and still not understanding. Sent timestamps to Keith. Hopefully I'll be looking at it and get her a better mic. VFR taxi rules per watch. Yeah. VFR taxi rules per workshop from Keith says to give general direction, destination, not just ATIS. For VFR, correct. Yeah, I agree with that. That's your, and some of them will say that too. And position, obviously. So I wonder why she got after him. I didn't hear what you keep saying. She. It's actually a he. I have a higher pitched voice, but still sound like a guy. It's the way he pronounces things that says that sounds feminine, along with the tone of the underlying harmonics, different from pitch. But guy or girl doesn't change the setup issues. Yeah, vertical sim. What's up, bud? I'm at your airport, man. Or my airport, I bought it. Yeah, this is great, dude. The vertical sim, this airport is, you go to vertical simulations, and he has a bunch of airports. This one's my favorite, and it meshes really well with Orbic's True Earth, Washington. Matter of fact, I think it comes with ortho scenery automatically that blends, so you don't even have to do anything. It just blends seamlessly. Glad to see it. And sorry, you know, I personally don't have that problem with the controller that you're talking about, but I'm not saying that it's not an issue, because I've seen the forums to where people have problems understanding this controller. I personally don't, but you're not the only one. There's quite a number that have that issue. Let's see who this guy is. He's an arrival. It's a Delta.
Okay, I didn't read that.
So he's going to B7.
But I've got it now. Squawking 3343, and once again, I'm clear for departure. Runway 24 left, 5750, Papa.
28 left.
And I had all those she's typed before you corrected me. Oh, I know. Yeah, you were busy landing. Yeah, I try not to look at chat when I'm doing my final checks, because I'll for certain miss stuff. He's parking right next to me. This is Traffic Global Vertical Studios. That's why this airplane's here. This is not a PilotEdge guy, but I use Traffic Global with PilotEdge because it makes my airports alive instead of being so quiet. He'll shut down his engines here in a moment. Alright, so we'll come in here, we'll turn off the batteries. We'll shut that door.
Disconnected.
And we'll do a replay. It's replay time. Gonna see some wing flex on that landing, y'all. That was a little bit of a thud. I didn't flare it enough. That wasn't too bad. critique from a little further away. Same, I test my airports with Traffic Global. Oh, cool. Yeah, I love that plugin. It's really, of course it misses the touchdown because of the tower view, but it really adds to the immersion for me. And I turned down the where's it at? When I'm in VR, I put the density to 50%. And it's really cool because I took off from Denver the other night in my Eclipse, and the airliners just, you know, they're real size in VR, so it's pretty cool to have that. Let me make sure these sounds are back up, which they are. I always feel like this plane is way too heavy on landing, like it requires way more speed than the FMC says. Yeah, I agree. It does because it wants to fall out of the sky. And plus this plane has the auto trim. So this thing is constantly trimming without me doing anything. You can't turn it off. It turns off automatically at 20, I think it's 15, 20 radar altitude. It will turn off. So it's like I start flaring at about 50 AGL. And then by the time I get to 20 AGL, I have to pull back almost like a second time because that trim wheel finally quit spinning on me. So if you're pulling back in the flare, and this is still an auto trim, it makes it hard to flare. So it's like you end up flaring twice. It takes a little getting used to. This is my hardest plane to butter a landing with. I can land a Boeing 767 and butter it, and butter landing, grease landing every time. This plane is a little difficult. We're flying backwards. We're all going to die. I missed that. That was good. All right, guys. Appreciate the discussion. Vertical Sim, appreciate you dropping by again, my friend. Looking forward to what you're coming out with next. I've got this, Airport, and Providence are the two that I think I have of yours, so I know I have those two. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch y'all tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Y'all take care. Chase out.